Now to the latest on the resignation of NYPD Commissioner Edward Caban. That resignation takes effect later this afternoon. He will be replaced in the interim by Thomas Donlin, a former FBI official and former head of Homeland Security for New York State. The change in leadership prompted by several federal investigations of city officials. In one investigation, officials raided the home of Schools Chancellor David Banks and seized his phones. Banks is not the target of that investigation, but he is now addressing the media for the first time since that raid. Eyewitness News reporter Josh Einiger live in Lower Manhattan with more on this developing story. Josh.
Yeah, Laura, we're here outside Department of Education headquarters, where at a separate press availability, the school's chancellor addressed this issue head on, calling it the elephant in the room, breaking his silence about the search warrants served upon him at his home. And he underlined what Banks' attorney has been told about the chancellor by federal investigators, that he is not a target. Quoting now, "Absolutely not a target," said Banks, in whatever this investigation is about. But Banks appears to sit at the center of the action in at least one of the multiple federal corruption investigations at play engulfing the top levels of city government here. Last week, agents served a warrant at the home Banks shares with his partner, First Deputy Mayor Sheena Wright, along with the homes of Banks' two brothers, Deputy Mayor Philip Banks and businessman Terrence Banks. All of them have had to surrender their devices to federal investigators. In Banks' case, we're talking about his personal and his Department of Education phones. No one here has been accused of any wrongdoing, but the investigations consuming the Adams administration are said to involve everything from bid rigging to campaign finance violations, and have led to seizures of devices belonging to multiple high-level members of the Adams administration, and even, months ago, the mayor himself. His school's chancellor today said he has done nothing wrong.
As it relates to myself, I have always lived my life with integrity every day of my life. And anybody who knows me knows that. My staff knows it. The folks who I've worked with many, many years know that well. So we'll all wait and see where these investigations go. And other than that, I am very, very focused on my work.
Meanwhile, the chancellor's counterpart at the NYPD, Police Commissioner Edward Caban, he is resigning from that department today over the corruption investigation that's ensnaring him and members of his family. In a separate case, sources say involves the nightclub enforcement of the city. The commissioner and his two brothers, along with a half-dozen other members of the NYPD, also seem to be involved in that case. Yesterday, the mayor announced Caban's resignation, Caban writing in a letter to the mayor that the investigation had become a distraction from the nation's largest police department. His resignation is effective today at 5 p.m. And to replace him, at least on an interim basis, Mayor Adams has actually gone outside the agency, tapping Tom Donlin, a former federal terrorism investigator. And we'll have more on what's next for the police department, along with all these agencies that are involved in these swirling investigations, coming up later in the day on Eyewitness News. For now, we're live in Lower Manhattan. Josh Einiger, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.